Hi, my name is Aaron Zimmerman and I'm with Legal Speeding. The purpose of today's video is to discuss the Park and Move Cruiser once you receive it. When removing it from the box, you'll notice that there are four things that you want to address. The first is this zip tie holding it together. There's a second zip tie that is holding onto the threaded rod. And then as you lift this up, you'll take off the foam and discard that. And then finally, there's a small wooden block that you just slide out and discard. And now the Park Move Cruiser is ready to be set up. Now that the packing material is removed, we can simply rotate the threaded block this way. We move the rod all the way back to where the roll pin makes contact with this block. We lift up on the middle of it, and then we simply thread manually the rod into that block there. Just a couple threads. And now the Park and Move Cruiser is ready for use. I'd like to cover some of the features that it has. First off, you'll notice on the center lifting bar, we had these two lifting blocks. Now, we made those square because one, it increases the area of contact, plus it gives us a lot more surface area, increased friction, bike's not going to move. We also included these guides on each end, and as guides, that's what they do. They simply guide the Park and Move to properly orient it underneath your bike when lifting. Another feature of the Cruiser is that we use the same casters that we use on our other models that are custom made. They have a dirt and dust cover on top, as well as seal bearings for low to no maintenance whatsoever. Another item that you'll notice is this small roll pin. And what the roll pin does is simply allows you, remember when we set it up, it allows us to back the threaded rod out without exposing the thrust bearing that's inside this block. But also, if you're moving it around, when you pick it up, it's not going to go everywhere. The roll pin, non-load bearing, there's never any strong weight or hard weight on it, only when you're doing this. Lastly, you'll notice that the threaded rod as well as the thrust bearing inside here is pre-greased. While we put a good amount of grease on it, it's good every once in a while just for a normal maintenance to check and make sure that there's no corrosion or rust or a buildup of dirt on that. The final section of this video is to talk about the actual usage of the Park Move Cruiser. In other words, raising the bike up and down. Now you can use three different tools. You can use a standard socket wrench, you can use a drill, or you could use an impact driver. We've used the standard 3/4 inch size head on our bolt, and all we're going to do is rotate it clockwise, and that brings the Park and Move Cruiser up. Now you'll notice that the two lifting blocks parallel each other, but they're also rotating so they can orient themselves with the frame of the bike. To lower it, we're simply going to rotate it counterclockwise, and that will lower the bike. As a general rule of thumb, the Park and Move Cruiser is going to work with cruiser bikes that have anywhere between 3.5 and 4 inches of clearance when they're on their side stand. So in other words, it's going to work with just about every cruiser bike out there. Thank you for watching today's video. For more videos on the actual usage and demonstration of the Park Move Cruiser, please visit our website, legalspeeding.com. Thank you.